Coverage of the Rolex 24 at Daytona on David Land is brought to you today by our supporters on Patreon. It's 1:40 in the night here at Daytona. I'm tired, I'm hungry, but we are halfway through the 2023 61st running of the Rolex 24 here at Daytona. And I think things are going to get a little bit weird later on. It's already been a bit weird. I went on the Garage Guys live stream that they're doing right outside of the media center here at the Daytona International Speedway. And we talked about all sorts of crazy things. And I think they called me an encyclopedia at one point, which I think is a compliment, but you never quite know. All right. So a lot of things have happened in the past 6 hours from the first 6 hours, because in the first 6 hours I was like, wow, what a calm race, how reliable. And things haven't quite been as reliable in the second 6 hours of this race. When we left you, we had this result as the leaders in each of the 5 classes. Well, the number 10 Acura got a drive-through penalty. They no longer lead overall or in class. The number 11 car in LMP2 crashed. The Andretti Autosport LMP3 was penalized, and the Corvette leading in GT Pro had a flat tire. So now this is what the leader book looks like at the Rolex 24 at the 12-hour mark. Meyer-Shank Racing, Simon Pagenaud driving right now, though Tom Blomqvist still has the fastest lap in the race. Also Colin Brown looking absolutely spectacular in that car at times. And it's a car that apparently, according to Pagenaud, they are babying right now. They're taking care of it. So the fact that that car is leading overall is just fantastic. 55 Proton, that's actually going to end up being a Porsche when we get to Long Beach, but they are leading in LMP2. The 33 Ligier is leading in LMP3. 23 Aston leading overall in GT and in GT Pro, and then the 70 McLaren at the halfway mark is leading in GTD AM. So I guess we'll continue by talking about GTD, just the class in general, because there's been quite a bit of controversy recently talking about the BOP in that class. And I can tell you specifically that there was one point on the broadcast where I saw two AMG Mercedes absolutely tear past the FAF Porsche on the banking. I think IMSA definitely missed the mark on the BOP in the GTD class, which is unfortunate because that's usually one of the most competitive classes. And I understand that the Porsches won a lot last year, but it's a brand new car. You know, it's understandable if they missed it a little bit, but it's still definitely disappointing that so many of the Porsches that have been so strong here in the past have not been able to compete. The big story in GTP and the big section of unreliability in that category right now has been the batteries. 2 cars have been afflicted by that. I found out just a couple of hours ago now exactly what afflicted the BMW that I talked to you guys about earlier. The BMW had to do a battery change. In fact, they've done a couple of them throughout the night, and I would imagine that it's going to continue. Somehow the 24 BMW has not been affected by this, but the 25 has just been stricken by battery issues. That also afflicted the number 7 Penske Porsche. So one of the Porsches is currently 18 laps down to the overall leader. So, you know, that's one, essentially the Penske's taken out of the race. The 6 car still holding strong, still in a podium position, but they haven't really looked like they've challenged the Acuras. The Acuras have been, by and large, the strongest car in this race thus far. And again, they've had pace despite the fact that they've been sharing or saving the car. So, to get a little bit more perspective, and because we are here at 1 a.m., well, actually almost 2 a.m. here at the Rolex 24, I wanted to bring in some expert analysis. And because, well, his contribution last year to the Rolex coverage was absolutely invaluable. So we're going to welcome once again to the channel Bucky the Beaver. And I understand, Bucky, you have a new occupation this Rolex 24. You've foregone the Corvette obsession, and you've actually gotten a job, which is fantastic. You're not just a spokesperson for sugary snacks and bad beverages. You are actually working on a GTP team. Tell me a little bit about that, Bucky.
Well, gosh darn it, I'm just so gosh darn tired of changing batteries. These cars, the batteries, they do not last. They are unreliable. Not like my Beaver Nuggets.
No, so just to be clear, are those Rayovac batteries or Energizer batteries, or are those the proprietary Bucky Beaver batteries that you can get at the gas station? Because maybe that's your problem.
They are Bucky's batteries. Just like everything at Bucky's, they are Bucky's. We make everything.
Do you make GTP cars?
Why do you think they're so unreliable? If I did, we'd be winning the race.
So just breaking news here, we've got a new GTP manufacturer coming. It's going to be the Bucky's GTP. And if you're in the comments section, I want you to name the Bucky's GTP car. What would it be called? What would the designation be called? Bucky, do you have a thought? This is a very pressing issue.
Well, all I can say is I've been working on these BMWs all night, and gee willikers, I am so happy that at least one of the cars is still in the race.
I apologize in advance to the 24 BMW team. We have just jinxed you horribly. Bucky, the last thing I've got to ask you, there's only one Corvette in the race this year. It's the last year of the C8R before they go to a brand new Corvette that they unveiled this week. I know you can't be a fan anymore because you're working in the series, but how do you feel about only one Corvette here?
I think it's terrible. I think IMSA has made a mistake. I think we need to bring back the GTLM class, and we need 2 Corvettes. Maybe we even need 3. Hell, make the whole field Corvettes.
the whole field.
They'd be more reliable than the BMWs.
Bucky Beaver is trying to get himself fired from his job. I can tell that right now. Well, anyway, before I get fired from my job, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to Bucky. And we'll see you in the next video when hopefully I'm a little bit more rested.